students, now in this next module of gravitation, we'll understand about a very interesting part, that is communication satellite and polar satellite. Now in the previous modules you understood how a satellite is launched, what is natural satellite, what is artificial satellite. But then when you talk about artificial satellite, there should be a purpose, right, for sending an artificial satellite inside the orbit. The two main purposes are these, that is communication satellite and polar satellite. Let's understand them in detail. Now, to define the first one, communication satellite, I would put it down something like this. It is an artificial satellite which is orbiting the Earth in the same direction as the direction of the Earth's spin. You can see the satellite is moving in the same orientation as that of the Earth's spin, and it is having the same time period as the period of rotation of the Earth, that is 24 hours or 1 day. So that's nothing but called as a communication satellite. Okay, an artificial satellite which is moving in the same spin or same orientation as that of the Earth's rotation and having a time period same as that of Earth around its own axis, that is 24 hours or 1 day. Now students, talking further about communication satellite, just remember that communication satellite always appears stationary when observed from the Earth's surface as it is moving along with Earth. So suppose if it is on Northeast Asia, then with respect to Northeast Asia, you'll always find the satellite at a fixed point in the sky. And that's why it's also called as a geostationary satellite, geographically stationary satellite. Sometimes it is also called as geosynchronous satellite because its motion is synchronous with the rotational motion of the Earth. That's why it's called as geosynchronous or simply synchronous satellite. Now, always remember that the time period of this communication satellite is fixed. So obviously, the height or the orbit in which the communication satellite will be revolving will also be fixed. The height of such satellite from the Earth's surface, remember, is approximately 36,000 kilometers. How do we get this? Just we get a calculation from the formula of time period. If I consider the time period of a satellite, you remember the formula, time period of a satellite is given as T is equal to 2 pi root of r plus h the whole cube upon gm. Now here, what are the things which we know? What we know over here is the time period, because we already know communication satellite definition say time period is 24 hours. Okay, we know capital G, right, that is 6.67 into 10 raised to minus 11 Newton meter square per kg square. We know the value of the mass of the Earth, that is 6 into 10 raised to 24 kg. If I substitute all this in that above expression, right, and if I just solve this, rearrange and keep r plus h on one side, squaring and simplifying, I finally get r plus h as 42,400 kilometers. So from the center of the Earth, the communication satellite is always in an orbit of radius 42,400, and from the surface of the Earth, the height is nothing but 36,000 kilometers. So very clear, remember this, a very important term for calculations in application sums. Okay, further, communication satellite has got various applications, like it can be used for transmission of television signals, radio signals over a large area or fixed large area above the Earth's surface. Also, it can be used for broadcasting telecommunication signals and channels which are private channels as well as reserved channel, defense channels, which are available to a bigger area over that region where the satellite is moving. Further on, the communication satellite is also used for military purpose. It is used for weather forecasting and also meteorological purpose. Now, talking about the second aspect, that's a polar satellite. As the name suggests, polar, pole to pole. The definition goes like, polar satellite is nothing but a satellite which circles the globe in a north-south orbit. Passing over the north and the south pole is nothing but the polar satellite. Children, just remember this as an extra knowledge. Polar satellites are at a very low altitude, 500 kilometer to 800 kilometer, and so they are so close to the surface of the earth. Obviously they have to move very fast, and naturally in this case you can see the approximate time period of a polar satellite is 100 minutes. So hence it crosses an altitude, or you can say it crosses over the poles many times in a day. So you are clear, communication satellite, it's always in the equatorial belt around the earth, and the polar satellite is in the polar orbit, moving pole to pole with respect to north pole and south pole, is nothing but a polar satellite. So you are clear with communication satellite and polar satellite.